So I'm going to go through some of the basics of graphing, with particularly a straight line graph. We will do more later with quadratics and other sorts of functions. So one way to get in, obviously, is to click on graph here. You can use the icon below as well. We'll start with a very simple graph. So you can see straight away it's ready to input it. So you've got f of x, which we can interpret from what we've been doing as y, as we haven't started functions yet. I'll start with a very simple graph, 5x plus 3, and you just press enter to plot it. Now this is a pretty basic graph. We know already that the gradient is 5 and the y-intercept is 3. But for more complex ones, you might want to be able to find these key values. So there are ways you can do this. You go into menu, number 6, you analyze the graph. The 0 will give you the x-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis. Now all you have to do, see it says lower bound here, you have to be to the left of the x-axis here, and then you can just click enter, and then you go past the intercept, so you're on the right hand side of it, the other side of it, and then just enter again. And these points are also movable if you get too many things on your screen. So we can see the x-intercept is minus 0.6. We can also find, we go to trace. So trace gives us the corresponding y value with any given x value on the curve. So for example, if I want the y-intercept, that's where x equals 0. It's honed in on it straight away there. But if you type in 0, it will just give you that point here. So you can see it is obviously crossing at 3 as we'd expect. But you can do any point. So if we're going to trace, for example, I might be fascinated as to what the y value is when x is equal to 1. Hopefully by substituting in, we know it'll be 5 times 1 plus 3, it's going to be 8. Again, all I have to do is type in 1. So there it goes, x equals 1. And press enter, and it will give me the corresponding y value. So it's substituted into the equation for us, which, obviously with a simple equation like this, not not something we're going to require, but when it gets more complicated, that can be really useful. We can also work out the gradient. So if you go into menu, and again, if you go into analyze graph, which is something we're going to be using a lot, you can use dy by dx. So this is fairly advanced maths, but for our needs, it just means change of y over change of x, and represents the gradient. So if I click on the curve, after picking that function, you can see it gives me the gradient of 5. Now, with more complicated curves, maybe one that isn't in the form y equals mx plus c, one you have to rearrange to plot it, I'm going to press tab to enter a new function. So what I'm going to do now, because by pressing tab, it's generated, it's given us another space to enter another function, but only in the form y equals mx plus c. So the left-hand side would have to be y. However, you can get around this if we go to graph entry edit. If you, instead of choosing function, you can choose relation. So if I type relation, then I can type in a different type of graph, maybe one in more general form. Say something like this. So here it's not in the form y equals mx plus c, but because we've clicked relation, it is going to plot it for us. So we can see there it's drawn this second line. Here it is, 7x plus 2y equals 5. And we can use all the same tricks that we used before. So we should be able to, let's go into analyze graph. Let's find the 0 where it crosses the x-axis. So we've got to make sure we got the right curve. So we're looking at this one, and we got to go to the other side of it. So here we go. That's the lower bound, and gone to the right of it. and it tells me that the x-intercept is 0.7143. I can find the gradient by going to dy by dx. Remember, I've got to click on this curve. So if I click on that one, so the gradient we can see moving up and down there is 3.5. So the gradient of that line is 3.5. So I can delete all this. It's getting a bit cluttered. So in order to delete everything, you can go to Actions, number 1. So I went to Menu, Actions, and delete all. And I'm going to type in another graph in general form. So say whatever 5x plus and minus 2y, should we do this time? Equals 3. Press enter. And just a reminder how we find the y-intercept. So you can go into trace. And remember, this will give me straight away, it's going to give me the y-intercept there, minus 1.5. But remember, you can type in any x value to get the y value that corresponds to it. So I just typed in 5, so you know it's going to be 11.